As I walked out of the Tower Place Hotel that morning, and I stayed there because I could just walk to the start and I didn't have to worry about traffic. And I could tell, I just knew, I looked around, I said, today's going to be fast. And I didn't know how fast, but I said, probably record conditions. I just didn't know how much of a record.
Robinson is getting the racers all in a line. You can see them evening them off, and here we are about ready.
I'd had 2 warm Peachtrees in a row in 79 and 80, but there was a real chance that we might even be under 70 degrees that next morning. Most importantly, the humidity was going to be down a little bit. But as we got to the starting line and I warmed up and I looked around, I said, man, there's as many good people as I've ever seen at the Peachtree Road Race. We were like 4:21 for the first mile. Rick Rojas from Colorado was pushing the pace. Adrian Leak, I was back somewhere around 7th or 8th, just trying to stay efficient, economical, and just stay in good position. But by 2 miles, when things would normally slow down, they didn't slow down.
Mile marker 3. At this point, you see Adrian Leak at the lower left-hand corner of the picture, running very, very strongly at this point. Following him, Rick Rojas is beginning to fade, and Craig Virgin in the yellow suit, who will move out from behind, here he comes, from out behind Rick's shoulder, is beginning to position himself for a later strike.
That stair-step hill climb was in the past where I had gotten into the lead, but I couldn't get there now. And so Adrian, when Rick Rojas started to falter, Adrian Leak took over and just kept pressing it. Now I'm like saying, man, this is different. I don't know if I can win today.
Leak in the lead and Craig Virgin making a little bit of a move even going up the hill.
Absolutely. He needs to close the gap. Craig knows that before he gets to those roller coasters, and you see Adrian looking back at that point, he knows who's behind him. Craig knows he has to get close. He has to get within striking distance in order to get to the left turn at 14th Street and make his move that'll carry him into the finish.
And at 4 miles, I got into 2nd place and we went down a little downhill back when we didn't go up that long hill the way you guys do now, but we had a little downhill, and that's when I surged into the lead with about 1.8 miles to go.
You'll see a bit of tactical racing here that Craig uses to perfection. You'll see him shorten his stride, more exaggerated arm lift, and he just blows on by.
I looked over my shoulder and Rod Dixon is following me like a heat-seeking missile. So if I go to the right side of the road, he goes to the right side of the road. If I go to the left side of the road, I said, well, I now know what I've got to face.
Right behind Leak is Dixon, who was later to finish 2nd in the race. Now we've just turned the corner past Colony Square.
Right, moved up the last 14th Street.
From the top of that hill, Colony Square, going down, it was all downhill. So you had to give everything you had by then. But I looked over my shoulder and Dixon was there just 10 yards behind me. And I said, man, you've got a 352 miler sitting on your butt. What are you going to do? And that's when, from Colony Square into that gate in Piedmont Park, it was about 1,200 yards, a lot longer than you think. And I used every inch of that real estate that I knew better than Rod to eke out a little bit more lead around each corner where he couldn't see me. I surged until finally, with a 1/4 mile to go, I said, I've got it if I can just grind it out. And I sprinted in and ran 28:03 or 28:04 for an American record, but I was just so grateful to win that day. But I looked behind me, the number of guys that came in under 29 and then under 30 was just phenomenal. We all knew that we had just done something special.
You can see him pressing. He wants this one badly.
It looks like we're going to have a watch the clock.
We may see an American record here. 28:06 for the American record. I think he got it, Bob.
Unofficially, we had a time of 28:04.
That was just one of those special Peachtree mornings when perfect storm, good field, good temperature, low humidity, and somebody took the race out. And when those things happen, you're going to get a landmark performance. It was a historic, epic moment in American distance running and in Peachtree distance running history.